This is KG Misra with the next part of the video of class 12th chapter first, that is charges, electric charges and fields. Okay. In the last video we were dealing with the applications of Gauss law. First application was that we have found out the electric field due to infinitely uniformly charged straight wire. Okay. And now here I am there with the next application, and that is electric field intensity due to uniformly charged infinite plane sheet. Okay, you can see that it is the plane sheet. Okay, for to indicate that it is infinite sheet, see I have kept here dotted lines. Okay, this indicates that it is going to extend in all the directions. Okay, uniformly it will extend in all the directions, and it is a infinite plane sheet. Now, how to start this? In order to start this, what we require Gaussian surface. Okay. So what we have done, we have taken this Gaussian surface. We have Gaussian surface we have done. Okay. And okay. Now, see, this is a cylindrical surface we can take. We can see we cannot draw any surface, no Gaussian surface, which can enclose whole infinite sheet. So we have drawn a cylindrical Gaussian surface. You can draw a rectangular also, doesn't matter. Okay. It will be able to enclose only a small part of this. How much? See, if the surface area of this cross section area is S, here also cross section area is S, so it will enclose how much part of this? Only of area S. Okay. If the surface charge density of this is sigma, okay, then let us find out the electric field due to this. Okay. Now, what we apply according to definition of flux. What we get? See, we can write phi is equals to integration E dot ds. When we are talking about E dot ds, what we will get? Obviously, we will get E ds cos theta, where theta is the angle between E and ds. You can see if we are taking this surface, see its area vector is directed here, and electric field is directed in this direction, because we know that electric field always directed away from the positive charge. So angle is how much? 90 degree. So cos 90 will be how much? 0. So this, no flux is going to come out from this curved surface at all. Okay, whole curved surface, there will be no electric flux coming out of it. From this part, again, this is the direction of area vector, this is the direction of electric field. Angle is how much? 90 degree. And cos 90 is 0. So again, there will be no flux from the curved surface. So flux is going to come out from the ends only. That is from this cross sections only. Okay. Now, at cross sections you can see that ds, that is area vector, and the electric field both are directed along the same direction. Okay. So what we can write? Can we write it like this? E dot ds cos theta. So we have got two parts. So what we can write? We can write it plus EDS cos theta. Okay. Now, and this cos theta is actually 0. So we can write simply, EDS plus EDS. Why? Because cos 0 is equals to 1. That's why we can write EDS plus EDS. Now, can we write it? 2 EDS plus EDS is 2 EDS. We can take 2 out, we can take E out, we can integrate ds. So what we will get? Integration of ds throughout the surface. We will get how much? We will get 2ES. Okay. So our flux is coming how much? Phi is equals to 2ES. This is our equation number 1. And this we got from the definition of flux. From definition of flux, we have applied this on the curved surfaces. the direction of area vector and the electric field both are perpendicular to each other. So cos 90 will become 0. That's why they are not going to contribute any flux. And this cross-sectional areas, there you find the area vector is along the direction of electric field. So angle is 0 degree and cos 0 is 1. So we will get ADS due to this, ADS due to that. So ADS plus ADS, we will get 2 ADS. So E we can take out, DS is left. DS when we integrate, what we will get? S, total area. Okay, this is our equation 1. Now, we have to apply the Gauss law. Now, how to apply this Gauss law? For that, we require the net charge enclosed. Okay, so for net charge enclosed, we have to find the area enclosed. Okay, area of the seat enclosed by that cylinder. So, how much area it will enclose? Obviously, S area. Okay. So, when the charge per unit area is sigma, that is surface charge density, then what is charge on this surface S? So, that is ES. So, Q is equals to ES. Okay, because Q by S is equals to sigma, that we know very well. So, this is the net charge enclosed by it. So, according to Gauss law, what we know? We know phi is equals to Q net upon epsilon naught. So, here phi is equals to Q net is how much? Sigma S and epsilon naught. That's what we get. This is our equation number 2. Okay. Q net is this much. Sigma S and epsilon. That's all. So we got the flux and we have got two equations of flux. Okay. Both are same. So we can replace this over here. Okay. So what we'll write next? From equations 1 and 2. From equations 1 and 2, what we get? We get 2ES is equals to sigma S by epsilon naught. That's what we get. And now, you will find S can be cancelled out. So, what you will get? E is equals to sigma by 2 epsilon naught. Okay. So, this is the expression for electric field produced by this uniformly charged infinite plane sheet. At what distance? At any distance. See here, the distance is not appearing. That means it is independent of distance. Now, why it is independent of distance? See, suppose you find this board is a charged sheet, okay, and you are choosing a point here. Then what will happen? The charges which are up to certain distance from it, no, only they will contribute to their electric field. See, if charge is here, then its electric field will come like this. It will have two components, okay. One is in downward direction and the other is in this direction, okay. Now, if you go far away, then what you will find? The electric field will be directed downward only, okay. And if you will downward, you will find the charges which have got electric field in the upward direction. So both will balance each other. That means charges of certain distance only will contribute to the electric field, and the charges which are much away, okay, they will not contribute. But as you increase the distance, due to increasing distance, the electric field will decrease. But the charges which are far away, now they will start contributing, due to which the electric field will also increase. So this decrease will be compensated by this increase, and therefore there will be no change in the electric field. And that's why we say that from here we can see that there is no change in the electric field intensity due to this infinitely charged sheet due to distance. So that's why R is not appearing. So electric field doesn't increase or decrease with the increase in distance. Okay. In case of, remember, infinite plane sheet. Okay. Okay. So we got the expression for electric field intensity, that is how much? Sigma upon 2 epsilon for an infinite plane sheet. If the infinite plane sheet is suppose like this, no, it is okay, it is positively charged. Then what is the direction of electric field? Obviously away from it. If it is a negatively charged sheet, suppose negatively charged sheet, then it is towards it. Okay, the direction of electric field is away from it. If it is negatively positively charged, if it is negatively charged, then it is towards it. Okay, again I am repeating, direction of electric field is away from it if it is positively charged, and towards it if it is negatively charged. Or you can say this is there when Q is greater than 0. This is there when Q is less than 0. Less than 0 means charge is negative. Greater than 0 means charge is positive. Okay. Now this is third application. Electric field intensity due to uniformly charged spherical cell. See, this is the spherical cell. Center is O. Radius is capital R and it is uniformly charged. Okay. Now, suppose the charge on this is how much? It is Q. Okay. Now what will happen? We have to find out the electric field intensity. In this case, we are going to deal in three parts. Okay. First case is at external point. We will find the electric field intensity at an external point, which is outside the sphere. Okay. That is point P. And you can see this point is at a distance R from the center of the spherical cell. So now, if you want to find out electric field at point P, then we have to draw a Gaussian surface. It is not infinite, so we can draw a Gaussian surface which is symmetrical to this. So sphere, symmetrical figure for a sphere is a sphere only. Okay. So we have drawn a sphere of radius small r. Now, in order to apply the definition of flux, what we need to do? First of all, what we do, see, for definition of flux we require, before that we will first let us apply this Gauss law. Okay. So according to Gauss law, what we get? Phi is equals to Q net. Q net is Q only upon epsilon naught. That is our equation 1. Okay. Now, according to definition of flux, what we can do? We know that according to definition, flux, phi is equals to integration E dot ds. That we know. Okay. Closed loop integration. Now, at any point, see, we want to find out this at this one. Okay. So what we will do? We will take a small area over here, that is ds. Direct area will direct it perpendicularly outward. Now, what about the electric field? As this is positive charge, so electric field also will direct it along same direction. If you take here this area ds, the electric field directed along the same direction. Okay. So angle is how much? So angle will be how much? Theta is equals to 0 degree. So we can apply this over here. What we will get? We will get phi is equals to integration E ds cos 0, and cos 0 is 1. So what we will get? E is outside, we have to integrate ds. Okay, because cos 0 1 only ds is left. We have to integrate throughout this Gaussian surface. Now see, what is the area of this Gaussian surface? What is the total surface area of a sphere? It is 4 pi r square. So we can integrate this E integration ds 0 to 4 pi r. I will write somewhere else. Okay, it becomes unclear. Okay, so I can write over here. Phi is equals to E integration 0 to 4 pi r square and ds. So after integration, what I will get? E, here we will get s 0 4 pi r square, that is phi. Now you can put the values, limits. Once you will put the limits, what you will get? Phi is equals to E into 4 pi r square. That is your equation number 2. Okay. This is your equation number 2. What was your equation number 1? Your equation number 1 was phi is equals to Q by epsilon naught. This was equation number 1. We can put the values. Okay. So what we can write? From equation 1 and 2. Rather equations 1 and 2. Okay. What we can write? E multiply 4 pi r square is equals to q by epsilon naught. That's what we get. Now we can take this 4 pi r square that side. So what we'll get? We'll get E is equals to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q by r square. Okay. So this is the electric field intensity at that point, at point P, which is outside. Okay. Now the second case. If suppose we want to find out the electric field intensity at the surface of this, okay, instead of this we have taken the point P here, then what will happen? Then R will be equals to small r equal to capital R. Okay. So for case 2, at the surface of the spherical cell, small r is equals to capital R. So what we'll get? Directly you can write from here. It will be 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q upon r square. Now you tell me which will have more value, this or this? Obviously this will have more value because small r was greater than capital R when the point was taken outside. So when the point was outside, then electric field intensity was less. When it is on the surface, then intensity of electric field is more. Okay. Now if you are going to take inside the case 3, then what will happen? Okay, we have taken this point has come inside. Let us redraw it. Okay, let me redraw this so that it doesn't appear clumsy. Okay, this is a sphere. Sorry, it never appears to be sphere. Okay, almost. So this is the center. Here we have taken point P. Okay, so we have to draw a Gaussian surface here, and this is the radius capital R, this is radius small r, and it is charged. And charge on it is Q. Okay, now we have taken the point inside this. So case 3, at a point inside the cell. Okay, so inside the cell we have taken. What will happen according to Gauss law? What will get? What is the net charge? Net charge is enclosed in this Gaussian surface. Is there any charge inside this Gaussian surface? Can you see it? No. So what is the flux? Flux is 0 upon epsilon naught, and that equals how much? 0. This is our equation 1. Because there is no charge inside this Gaussian surface. Okay. Because no matter is there. So where the charge will lie? Okay. Because it is a hollow sphere. No? Now, according to definition of flux, what we will get? According to definition of flux, what do you get? Phi is equals to integration E dot ds. Okay, this is our equation number 2. Okay, now see, from equations 1 and 2, what do we get? Let's see. From equations 1 and 2, what we get? Integration E dot ds is equal to 0. Now, what does it means? See, if you are taking a small area here, okay, this area will be directed here only. Okay. Okay. So area cannot be 0. This is ds. Ds cannot be 0. Electric field also directed along the same direction, outward. Okay. Electric field, okay, directed along same direction. So angle between them is 0. So no problem. We can write straight away EDS is equal to 0 because EDS cos theta, cos 0 is 1. So that's why we get EDS. Or rather, I can write here EDS cos 0 is equals to 0. Cos 0 is 1, so we get EDS is equals to 0. Now see, E we can take out, integration of ds will give us the full surface, okay, will give the area of full surface, okay. So what we get from here, we get that is E, and that is 4 pi r square equal to 0. This can't be 0. So obviously what this implies, E is equal to 0. So electric field inside the spherical cell is 0. So now I'm going to list the results so that we can draw the graph. Okay. These are the axes. We are going to draw a sphere. Okay. This is a sphere. This is the center at origin. Okay. And distance is increasing according to x-axis. Okay. Now what will happen? Inside the sphere, the electric field is 0. This is electric field intensity along this axis. Okay. This is in Newton per coulomb, and this is in meter. What will happen? See, from center till surface, electric field is 0. Once you come to the surface, electric field is how much? It is maximum, that is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q upon r square. Okay. And then as you move further away from it, that is outside, what you get? It decreases. Okay. That is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q by r square. What you get here? R is greater than capital R. Point is outside. Okay. So this graph we get. Inside sphere it is 0. At the surface we get maximum value, and then as we move away from it, it decreases because R is greater than capital R. And its square of that is there. So it will not be a straight line. It will be a curved line. Okay. It is decreasing like this. And obviously it is not going to meet here because will become 0 at infinity. So like this. Okay. See, for conducting spheres, what we get, no? Whatever charge you are giving to a conducting sphere, whatever charge you are going to give it, what will happen? Suppose you are giving positive charge. So similar charges repel each other. So they will try to maintain the maximum distance. Okay. And as they will try to maintain maximum distance, so what they do? Due to repulsion, they lie on the surface of the conducting sphere. Okay. They always lie on the surface of the conducting body. Why? Because one thing, because they repel each other, so they try to maintain maximum distance. Second thing, on the conductor, charges can move freely, so they used to move when they arrange themselves on the surface, because when they are on the surface, then they have got maximum distance from each other. Okay, here also they are able to maintain the distance. Okay, but if you are taking even if a solid sphere, then also the same thing. Okay, you will not find any charge in the bulk. All charges situated inside the over the surface of the sphere. Either it is solid or it is hollow in case of conducting sphere. But for case of non-conducting sphere, Suppose it is non-conducting solid sphere, then what will happen? Whatever charge you are giving it, it will get distributed throughout the body. It will there in the bulk, okay, as well as on the surface. Okay. So, if you are finding the electric field due to this, okay, suppose total charge on it is Q, and you are finding electric field, this is center O, and you are finding electric field at distance R at point P. So what you will get? You will get similar result as you got for the spherical cell. That is, electric field will be 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q by R square. Okay. If you are trying to find on the surface, what you will get? See, on the surface of this non-conducting sphere, you will get electric field as E is equals to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q by R square, as you got in the case of spherical cell. But if you are asking, trying to find out the electric field inside this, suppose you want to find out here at this point, and suppose this distance is smaller. So what you have to do? First you have to find out this volume. First you have to find out the volume charge density, that is rho. Rho is how much? It is Q upon 4 pi R square. Sorry, this is the surface area. What is the volume of a sphere? 4 by 3 pi R cube. This is the volume charge density. Now, how much charge this is enclosing? That is equals to, suppose this is enclosing charge, we are taking it as Q1. The charge enclosed by this is how much? It is rho into volume of this. Volume of this is how much? 4 by 3 pi R cube. Okay, pi R cube. Now we can keep the value of rho over here. So what you will get? Q upon 4 by 3 pi R cube into 4 by 3 pi small r cube. So 4 by 3 cancels out. Pi cancels out. We have got Q small r cube by Q small r cube by capital R cube. This much charge is enclosed in that. So we can use the Gauss law to find the flux. Okay. We can use the Gauss law to find the flux because we got the total charge. So flux will be how much according to Gauss law? Flux will be Q R cube upon capital R cube epsilon naught. This is flux. Okay. Now, if you take a small area over here, it is directed in this direction, ds, perpendicular outward, and as the positive charges are there, so electric field will be also directed along same direction. Okay. So if you use the definition of electric flux, what you will get? This is equation number 1. You will get phi is equals to E dot ds, that is E ds cos theta, that is cos 0, because angle is 0 degree. So what you are going to get? You are going to get, see, what you are going to get, E is constant, you will take out, okay, ds you will integrate, okay, from 0 to how much? Total surface area, that is 4 pi r square, okay. So you will get E into 4 pi r square, that's what you will get, phi. This is our equation number 2. Now from 1 and 2 again you can write, so what you will get, let's see, you will get E into 4 pi r square is equals to Q r cube by capital R cube epsilon naught. So from here you can cancel this, okay, and this cube. So what you will left with? Now, what we get? We get E is equals to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. We have taken this 4 pi, r is cancelled out with this cube, epsilon naught is there, we have taken, and we are left with q by r cube. Here small r is there. Okay. So as the small r increases, electric field intensity will keep on increasing. Okay. And once you reach on the surface, this r will become how much? At surface, r is equals to capital R. So we will get E is equals to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q by r square. Okay. So that means if you want to draw the graph for this, okay. So if you want to draw the graph for it, what will get? See, if you're drawing the sphere, that is non-conducting sphere, okay. This is non-conducting. Then what you will get? Here the electric field is increasing and it attains the maximum value at the surface. And then what happens? Then this is the distance. Here it is the electric field intensity. Okay. And then it starts decreasing. That's what happens in case of non-conducting sphere. This is the origin. Okay. First it increases. That means here what you get? E is proportional to R. Okay. And then it becomes maximum and here it decreases. Okay. So that was the all about this chapter. Okay. We have completed this chapter. In the next video you will find the solution of all the NCERT questions. Okay. Next 2 videos maybe. Okay. As it may be required. If it is required 1 or 2 or 3, okay, I will go for it for you. And then later on videos we will have some important questions and MCQs which are asked in the previous year board examinations. Okay. Till then, thank you. Take care and keep on studying. Bye-bye.